Hey guys, what's up? It's RagesSorrow's here, and welcome to the 3,000 subscriber Q&A special. I got quite a few questions from you guys actually, so I'm going to try to answer all these in the same video. It is going to be a bit longer because of that, so I suggest pulling this up while you're doing some skilling on RuneScape. Maybe just grab you a nice drink, grab you some popcorn, something to eat, and enjoy the video. So, first question is going to come from Fader and Ma-ER. They asked, what is your favorite RuneScape memory? Now, favorite RuneScape memory is obviously going to come from when I got my first 99, which was actually range. Now, this was way back in the day, I would say probably around 2008, 2009 when I managed to actually achieve it. And it was actually strange that range actually became my first 99. Reason being is I actually started out on the game hating range. I love to do magic and I love to do melee, but when it came to range combat, I despised it. But then after a while, I actually started getting more and more into the skill, and it actually turned out to be a really powerful skill at the time for combat. And this was way back in the day when Bounty Hunter was still around, and I would actually just destroy people as a range tank. It was so much fun, and it was just so easy to do. And it also gave me great satisfaction to destroy someone that was using, you know, stuff like god swords and whips and stuff like that, just by using range. It was awesome. So, favorite RuneScape memory right there was, you know, the achieving of my first 99 skill. Second best memory, I'll go ahead and extend this question out a little bit. Actually, when I ended up with a 100 mil split from Nex. This was back when the Pernix body was over 500 mil all on its own. And ended up splitting that with 4 other friends. It was awesome. But let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Comes from Baby Metal. Says, how long have you been playing RS, and who or what got you into it? Well, actually, I've been playing RuneScape since the start of 2007. Now, I didn't actually do much PKing at the start, so, you know, not really a fan of, you know, the old school PKing in that sense. But what really got me into it is I was actually searching for some MMOs to actually play online. Now, I actually did try out World of Warcraft at one point. It was okay, but it wasn't my style of MMO. I mean, you know, I enjoy combat now, but at the time, that's all that, you know, World of Warcraft really offered. Yeah, you could do quests, but they were mostly combat oriented, and, you know, it just got to be one of those things, you know. But, you know, I guess what really got me into it is once I actually started playing RuneScape, you know, I kind of liked the openness to the game, to where pretty much you could do anything that you wanted to. You could play as any style of character that you wanted to. You weren't, you know, shackled to a particular class. Not only that, combat wasn't the only thing that you had to do in the game. You actually had a lot more, you know, choices and options to you. And I guess that's really what appealed to me with RuneScape, was the fact that, you know, you can actually, you know, pretty much be who you want to be. And, you know, that's kind of why I like games like Skyrim, because, you know, it's more of an openness to it. And, you know, that really appeals to me whenever it's, you know, wherever it comes to a game. You know, just basically having freedom and the options to do, you know, as you would want to do, and, you know, conform things to your certain playstyle. So, you know, that's really what actually got me into RuneScape. You know, like I said, I've been playing for 7 years, and, you know, I've enjoyed every minute of it. Let's see, next question. I've Cough Fox asks, what's your favorite football team? Now, if we're talking American football, it would have to be the Steelers. And if we're talking European football, or soccer as Americans call it, then I have Manchester United. Don't ask me why. You know, I just like Manchester United, and I like the Steelers. Not really that big on sports, actually, but, you know, I don't know what it is. You know, I enjoy American football, and I enjoy European football. European football, you know, I actually like it a little bit more than American football, because American football seems a little bit gay. Nothing against that. It just seems like they wanted to find an excuse to be able to, you know, rope up grope all over another man. You know, if you're gonna be gay, just come out and say it. Let's go ahead and get off that topic. Next question. Just Zion says, "Hello, my question is, what do you like to do in your free time if it's not RuneScape?" And then an RS related question is, "What do you think about legacy mode? Will it break the game? Will it make it better, but only in certain areas like PvP? Will this revive PvP-based minigames like Soul Wars, Clan Wars, or Castle Wars?" Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with your first question. What do I like to do in my free time when it's not RS? Well, video editing is a hobby of mine. I do enjoy this. That's one of the reasons why I actually make YouTube videos. Another thing is I actually like to play card games such as Yu-Gi-Oh! In my spare time. I don't know what it is, I just like strategy-based games. That might be another reason why I actually like RuneScape so much, because, you know, there is strategy to PvP and PvM. Now, as for Legacy mode, I don't think it's going to break the game. It's actually, you know, a nice balance to the EoC, and it's actually going to make things quite fun when it actually does come out. Granted, it's still in beta test, but in beta test, it actually seems fine. There are just a few tweaks that need to be made to it before, you know, it'll become, you know, proper to actually use. Now, it will make the game better in certain areas. In PvP, it's actually going to make it a little bit more fun. It's going to make the specs, which do come back, a little bit more balanced. Because everybody remembers, if you had claws back in the day, then, you know, you were just overpowered and broken. But with how they're going to make it with the legacy mode, you know, things like that, it's actually going to bring PvP back up to, you know, one of those forefronts where people are actually going to do that. Because at that point, you're not only reliant on your abilities, you can actually rely on your special attacks. But you do have to build up your adrenaline in order to use it. But I don't know, based on what I've done in the beta, I really like the legacy mode. It's one of those, you know, it's just one of those things, you have to actually play around with it to get used to it. That's kind of like what I did back when EoC first came about. I didn't really like it all that much, and then when I actually started testing out against the bosses and stuff like that, then it actually became, you know, more and more fun. Not only that, I actually do have a lot of guides planned for when the legacy mode does actually go in the live game, which is actually going to make it a whole lot easier for you guys to actually boss around with, so do stay tuned for those. As for reviving PvP-based minigames like Soul Wars, Clan Wars, and Castle Wars, I'm not exactly sure if those are actually going to be dead. I know Clan Wars is going to come back to life, because there are going to be a lot of people that are going to use Legacy Combat Mode over, you know, the standard mode right now. So it will actually bring Clan Wars back to that forefront. As for Soul Wars, I'm not exactly sure on this. I know Jagex is actually going to be probably switching back to the 138 combat formula, so Soul Wars will actually get a lot of play for people that are actually wanting to become Cures and Zerkers and stuff like that. Not only that, since Jagex is giving people the options of actually resetting their accounts on certain stats to actually bring back those statuses, you know, that actually might be really worth looking into, especially with the Soul Wars. So basically, yeah, I am actually a fan of the Legacy Combat Mode. It's going to be something that I look forward to actually coming into the live game, based on how much I've actually played around with it in the beta. Like I said, it's, you know, it's really, really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Next question comes from Blumkin Info. That's actually a really cool name. I like that. It says, "What made you become a YouTuber?" Or in other words, what inspired you to make videos? Now, back when I first started, it was February 1st of 2011. This was the exact day that the Old Wilderness actually came back. Now, if everybody remembers, a lot of people that were actually using bots and stuff like that ended up getting hacked. I actually got keylogged by my good friends at the time. Now, do take into consideration that I actually had over a 100 mil bank, and the guy, my buddy, just cleaned me out. he just cleaned me out. It was horrible. You know, I tried so many times to log in on that day, and I couldn't log in. And then when I finally logged in, you know, everything was just gone. It was a horrible feeling, and basically, as I was doing the rebuild process, I actually had it come to my mind, why not, you know, basically do RuneScape videos on, you know, how my rebuild is going and stuff like that. And until it actually got to the point of EoC and everything like that, where, you know, I started doing guides and stuff, that's when I really found out what I wanted to do on YouTube, and it was basically to help people and help them get better at the game. And, you know, if they ever did get hacked, anything like that, you know, give them an idea on ways that they could rebuild without actually, you know, just coming straight out with a guide saying, you know, do this to make money. Because if you do something like that, then it kind of spoils the method. But, you know, that's just one of those things. You know, that's what got me into YouTube video making. Was basically I got hacked, and I wanted to help people out on how to rebuild everything. Next question comes from It's Surge. He asks, what's your favorite boss and why? Also, what's your favorite quest? Okay, let me answer the second question here first. Favorite quest was While Gothic Sleeps. It was a really well planned out quest. It had a lot of story elements to it. Overall, it was a really, really well made quest. Now, the boss fight at the end was a little bit anticlimactic, but other than that, it was a really good quest. Second favorite quest on that topic would actually have to be The World Wakes, just because of how you actually ended up fighting the God Wars dungeon bosses. It was a lot different from how they normally were, so, you know, that combat actually made everything a little bit worthwhile. As for my favorite boss, that would actually have to go to... this is really hard. I would actually have to say Corp, because not every Corp fight is the same. Granted, the strategy on beating him is pretty much the same, but Corp is actually one of my favorite bosses. Second favorite boss is a tie between Nex and the Calphite King. Third would be Virago. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I stand on, you know, favorite bosses as well as quests. You know, for me, it's really how much of a challenge the boss actually is when it first comes out. I guess in that, I could actually say the Queen Black Dragon would actually be one of my favorite bosses of all time. Because the boss fight always changes every time. Not every boss fight against the Queen Black Dragon is going to be the same. So, you know, that's just some food for that there as well. Next question comes from Aria. It says, tea or coffee? If coffee, black or with milk. If tea, green tea or another tea, or the best of both. I'm actually a tie between both here. I like tea and I like coffee. With coffee, I do actually have to have a little bit of milk with it. I also have to have a little bit of sugar in there, because I can't drink it straight black. You know, I'm a bitch like that. As for tea, I can drink either green tea or regular tea. Again, you know, there has to be some sugar in there. I do kind of prefer green tea. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just the taste. But, I do prefer the taste of green tea rather than, you know, just straight lemon tea with sugar in it. I guess that's just me. I'm just weird. El Zimode says, are you planning on doing a real-life video? Actually, yes. When I actually do get a really good camera, I might actually end up getting a GoPro camera that I can actually, you know, kind of stick out in front of me to actually do the IRL videos. But that is something that I am planning on doing. I do want to do real-life videos. Want to kind of bring, you know, my YouTube channel, as stated before, onto a more personal level. And, you know, if doing IRL videos is a sign of anything, it's, you know, that I pretty much want to show you guys what I do on a day-to-day basis, if at all possible. Next question is Vexavo. Says, I'd love to play with you in-game. And question, are you going to PK when Legacy Combat comes out? Yes. Yes, I will be PKing when Legacy Combat comes out. Reason being, as stated before in the previous question, it does make PKing a lot more enjoyable with Legacy mode rather than to do it basic. So yes, I will be doing Legacy PKing when it comes out. I've been testing around with it in the beta. It's a lot smoother than, you know, just regular PK right now with abilities. Not only that, I actually prefer that kind of style. Next question comes from Pro Pennant. It says, sadly, we all know good things must come to an end. When will your videos end? At what point in your life will you stop making videos? I'll actually say this, and it's going to be a solemn promise. My videos will not end until Jagex shuts down RuneScape. I'm not going to quit video making. I enjoy it way too much. And if RuneScape does shut down, I'll just find a different game to play. So, yes, you will have constant content. Hi guys, I don't have much time left now. Hopefully, if you did, then leave a like rating. As always, subscribe if you want to see more videos. I've been RagesSorrow. As always, peace. Have a great rest of your day.